Hello and welcome to another episode of Region Weather Live, your online streaming YouTube forecast for the Dakotas and Minnesota. I am meteorologist Brad Warner, and boy, what a day there was out there with all the snow that occurred. Started off in the southwestern part of the North Dakota, moved through Bismarck and areas in through New Rockford and Devil's Lake and Grand Forks. A lot of snow out there. And as we take a look at the current radar right now as we loop through this, all the severe weather down in through southwestern or southern parts of Minnesota, southeastern South Dakota. All this is pushing off to the east with this big system that continues to move to the east and eventually starts to really wrap up and move to the north now. Once this stuff kind of pushes further east later tonight, back behind this is actually going to be a push of some drier air that's going to work its way in and really dry out some of these areas in southeastern and even parts of northeastern North Dakota through the daytime tomorrow. So that is some of the better news of this. At least we shut down some of the precip for some of these areas. But right now, overnight, into the early parts of this evening, still plenty of moisture out there, plenty of plenty of moderate snow out there. Looks like it's starting to decrease a little bit south of Bismarck, but still north of Bismarck, north of I-29, through Carrington, Devil's Lake, Mayville, Grand Forks. We even got a report of a lightning strike of some thunder snow between Mayville and Hillsboro, very likely associated with this little orange spot there. So boy, this was an intense system, to say the least. A lot of snow, anywhere from, we've had 8 to 13 inches out there with various reports kind of within this region. So plenty of snow, and now we've got more to go. Here's the very latest model that we have to work off of. You can see it still does a pretty good job of depicting where some of that, where all the moderate snow is occurring in the north, mainly in the northern parts of North Dakota right now, north central and northeast. Throughout the evening hours and into the night, that area will basically continue, maybe move a little bit northward as we get past midnight and into 1 and 2 a.m. time frame for Wednesday morning. Looks like some of that tries to decrease some finally. We still have some light to moderate out in the Devil's Lake Basin up through Rugby as well. But the note, as I talked about, that dry air begins to work its way in here at this point once we get into the 6 a.m. time frame on Wednesday morning. And we continue that along. We've got this low that eventually pops up in through northwestern parts of Minnesota. And along with that, that's really where that dry air becomes associated with. So really it turns off the spigot for some areas in the northeast, northeastern parts of North Dakota, especially down in the southeast as well. Keeps the snow and the winds out in the central and western parts of the state. As you note, we kind of back this up. It keeps on rotating through. So it's not going to be very heavy, but it's just going to be persistent through the nighttime tonight, Tuesday night, and through Wednesday. And you can see how that low really wraps up and moves all the way into northeastern parts of North Dakota, continues to snow across the central and west, and keeps the east fairly dry throughout the day on Wednesday. Eventually, it does kind of pivot back around and starts to finally eject out to the east. So once we get into that overnight hours Wednesday night, looks like some snow will make its way back into the east and into northern parts of Minnesota, but really lacking much of that wind, at least until Thursday morning. That's when some of that wind kind of kicks back in. We're going to be dealing with a little bit more snow. So areas in the central and west will continue to have snow throughout the day tomorrow and into Wednesday night, before that begins to decrease Wednesday night, and that low finally moves on out. Wind gusts overnight, we're looking at 35 to 45 miles per hour in through that Devil's Lake Basin. These areas of higher winds are going to kind of kick to the north. We still have, we will have the potential possibly at some point overnight of maybe some 50 mile per hour wind gusts around Devil's Lake. But generally, as we get later, those stronger winds kind of push to the north, and then we have some stronger winds that start to develop further out in the western parts of the state, and then, of course, across much of southern or across South Dakota as well. Once we get around noontime, the winds begin to increase even more so out in the west, so any kind of snow that fell out there will begin to blow around more so in the afternoon on Wednesday. And then they really begin to pick up more towards evening. We have some gusts of 45 to maybe 50 miles per hour across Bismarck. So we're not done yet there for those of you in Bismarck. I think we've got more blizzard conditions possible, at least Wednesday night, early part of Wednesday night coming at you. So well, the winds might be dying down by that, or not the winds, but the snow might be dying down by that point. But the winds are going to be holding on and maybe even increasing into the overnight hours. Here we see gusts of 50 across the James River Valley region and starting to push into Fargo. So any kind of snowfall that's been in there will obviously blow around through the night, Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. And then as we push in through the day and get closer to that noon time frame, those stronger winds push more into the southern parts of Minnesota and begin to decrease a little bit on Thursday afternoon. We're still going to be holding gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour across much of the day. So still plenty of blowing going on throughout the day on Thursday. So even though some areas might not get a ton of snow in the east, we're going to be dealing at least with some blowing and drifting on Thursday, eventually once these winds start to work its way back to the east. And this model has quite the cutoff right around that Hillsboro through Castleton, down through Ellendale, Edgeley area. That's quite the line it has right in through there. But as we put this into motion overnight, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, we could see a lot of that snow continues to accumulate across the north and then also in the western part of the state. As we get into Wednesday afternoon, it just keeps on accumulating across the north and across the west, and even down here in parts of the south central, though most of the snow is going to occur further in the north and out into the west throughout the day on Wednesday. Now, Wednesday night, late into the night, into very early Thursday morning, that's where the snow accumulations begin to decrease, and that's pretty much the end of it at that point. Once we get into Thursday, there's a little bit of accumulations in the northwestern parts of Minnesota but by this point, most of the accumulations will have happened. So once we get to Thursday afternoon, this particular model is showing another 15 inches of snow across portions of the north. So you take some of these areas who've already gotten, possibly 15. I think New Rockford was reporting 13 inches of snow south of Devil's Lake. So, if they pick up another 12, that's close to 30 inches of snow. That's quite a bit. And that's also quite a bit of liquid precip as well, as that's near 3 inches of rain if that were to fall all as rain. And here's all the warning area. The area in the red is the blizzard warning, and all this is pretty much in effect until Thursday evening until 7 p.m. Still some winter weather advisories in blue for that area that's kind of on that, just still remains on that rain snow line. And then once you get in the northwestern parts of Minnesota, we've got some winter weather advisories and some winter storm watches still in effect out in the northwestern parts, in effect until Thursday evening as well. So we've got it all tonight. We've got severe storms down in southern Minnesota and all that snow still across North Dakota and northern parts of Minnesota. Thank you all for watching today and throughout the day today. I've had some live events going on this morning and then also this evening, so I sure hope you tuned in then, because I was able to sort of really break down some things and show some stuff and talk about some things. I mean, we talked about all the road closures. I mean, there's I-94 is closed from Montana to Jamestown right now. I-29 closed from Canada down to Fargo. U.S. Highway 2 from Devil's Lake to Grand Forks. And I expect a lot more to come overnight tonight. So that's going to continue to happen. A lot of no travel advised across pretty much most of the state, except for the southeastern parts of North Dakota. And that's just going to continue tonight into tomorrow. Things really won't improve except for eastern parts of North Dakota when those winds kind of die off and that low kind of noses its way in there when some of the winds in the precip dies off. But overnight tonight, everybody's still expecting quite a bit of snow. And then through the day tomorrow, central and western parts of North Dakota still dealing with the winds and snow, probably blizzard conditions as well, bad roads. I don't think people really are going to start getting out until late Thursday. Maybe it might even take Friday for some areas. by the time they really start to get a good handle on the road. So we'll keep you all up to date as to the latest information. We'll take a look in the morning and see if there's any changes, and if there are, I'll make sure to come back on. But again, thank you all for listening. Subscribe, like, share, get people to know this channel, because that absolutely helps me out. I hope I helped you out. Everybody have a good day.